All right, let's take a look and see how we can find midpoint of 2 points. We can start with the real number line, which might be easier for you to see. So let's say I'm at 3 and 1, negative 3 and 1. What do you think midpoint is for the line segment connecting negative 3 to 1? The point exactly halfway between, that's what the midpoint really means, would be right there, wouldn't it? So that would be negative 1. Well, how do you compute it arithmetically? So it will be negative 3 plus 1 over 2, which is negative 2 over 2 or negative 1. It's like taking average, right? Because you want half the distance, that's why the 2's in the bottom, half the distance between those 2 points, right? And then you're adding to it. So you can see it's average of the 2 points gives you where you're going to be in the midpoint. All right, let's take a look at a concrete example. Here's negative 3, here's 1. Where do you think is the halfway point? It's right there, isn't it? You're going halfway from here to here. You already know how to get distance from here to here. But now we're saying we don't want distance, we want the midpoint of this line segment, which turns out to be negative 1. And you can get algebraically that by taking the average of the two. That would make sense because that's what average is, isn't it? You take 2 points and find what halfway point between them is. All right, so what if I give you a point A here and a point B there? What do you think will be the average? Well, or midpoint, it will be right there. You take the 2, add them together, half of that. So midpoint formula for 2 real numbers A and B on a number line is given by A plus B over 2. So of course now we want to know how can we find midpoint of a line segment in the Cartesian plane. So here we go. We have, let's say, example 6, 2 and 10, 12. Okay, let's connect that line segment. I want exactly halfway between the point here somewhere. How do I find this point? Well, I know here's my x-axis, here's my coordinate 6, and here's my 10. On the x-axis, halfway between 6 and 10 would be add the 2 together, divide by 2, which you can see here will be at 8. Well, let's go over here and go sideways. So here's my y-coordinate of 2, y-coordinate of 12. Again, this is a number line, so same principle should work, right? Add the 2, divide by 2, giving me 7. So what do you think is the coordinate of the midpoint? It'll be 8, 7. So you can see how things translate from 1 dimension to 2 dimensions. What do you think will happen if you had 3 dimensions and 2 points in 3-dimensional space and you wanted a midpoint of the line segment connecting these 2 points? Well, you would just have to add a third z-coordinate and again take average of the 2. Right, so midpoint is take the x-coordinates, divide by 2, take the y-coordinates, divide by 2. In 3-dimensional, you just add another component of z-coordinate. So in general, if you're given 2 points, x1, y1, this is my first point, x2, y2, second point, to find a point that lies exactly halfway between them on the line segment connecting them would be given by this. Take the 2x coordinates, their average, take the 2y coordinates, their average.